On this lesson, we are going to talk about how application insights can be configured in order to start collecting information for you, for the telemetry. So I just want to introduce you with the most important concept that exists in application insights, which is the resource. So as any Azure application or service that exists, the application insights as an application insights resource that identifies it on the system. So the application insights resource is an unit for data isolation. It defines where the data is stored geographically. It defines the pricing tier. It defines the application type that is being monitored, and it defines the access control that you can give on it. So you can give different permissions per application resource. Each application resource is uniquely identified by an instrumentation key in application insights. That's how you identify an application insights resource. In terms of your application, in Azure, it is represented with the name. So how many resources you have, it depends of all these vectors, where you want that data to be stored, the pricing tier that you want to be applied, the application type that you are being monitored, and stuff like that. So the application type defines the different types of data that is presented on the dashboards, not the data that is collected, but how the data is presented on the dashboards automatically. In order to configure your application to start sending telemetry to application insights, the application insights uses an SDK on your application. It's something that you install either manually, depending on your language, platform, etc., or you can install using Visual Studio if it's an ASP.NET application, or if it's diagnostics application for Azure, you configure it on the portal. So it's very, very, very easy to instrument your application. It doesn't require changes to your code. It typically requires just the installation of the SDK and a little configuration so you can tell application insights to which resource the data is being sent via an instrumentation key. If you are doing custom events, that requires manual code changes. So the events are business-based events, so the application, the SDK cannot find them on their own. So you will have to write some code in order to send custom events, custom business events when they happen on your application. For example, if you are using an e-commerce application, you may want to record that the user has placed an item on the shopping cart, the user has checked out, or the user has removed an item for the shopping cart, stuff like that. So you may want to record some kind of business events in order to understand user behavior. The log traces require the installation of an adapter and a configuration. Typically, you are using either Log4j or Log4j or one of the typical logging tracing application libraries, and you can use them and you just configure in order to get the data from there into application inside with just a few settings and installing some libraries. So you don't even need to change your code if you are using one of those supported libraries. The availability tests is configured on the Azure portal or using the APIs.